And welcome in to Genesis Place in Airdrie. It is the Larry Bishop Memorial Cup game number 1. The Calgary Shamrocks, accustomed to being in this tournament, in this place, taking on the home squad, the host, the Central Division champions as well, the Rockyview Silvertips. The Shamrocks roll into the Larry Bishop after defeating the Mountaineers 2-0 in the South Final, while the Silvertips come in having defeated the Mountain View Mavericks in the Central Final, booking their ticket into the dance. Starting goaltenders, number 1 for the Rockyview Silvertips, Caden McDonough, the big man leading most categories throughout the league when it comes to netminders. And down in the other end, another guy who is big in stature, Josh Pilsner, mans the fort for the Shamrocks. The Rockyview Silvertips will be wearing their home dark unis, moving from right to left on your screen, while the Shamrocks will be going from left to right, wearing their road whites. As the Silvertips are going to pick it up here with the first possession. Ball swings over to the left side. Ball back into the stick of Norris. He hops down the right side. He's chased here up high. Ball swings over to the left side. Shabik over to Twite, and that goes wide. Loose ball, a little behind the back, off the floor and into the glass, and it'll be Shamrock possession here. And the ball is going to be started up high with Sate. Siege is going to hand off Anderson. And they're going to call moving pick, and it'll be Silvertip ball. As the Rockyview side tried to transition, the ball goes loose, but it's going to be picked back up by the Silvertips. Shabik up high. Gets the ball to the half wall. Inside, but that pass was too high for its intended target, and here come the Shamrocks back the other way. Polton is going to stop up with it. Ball into the stick of Siege. Now up to Anderson. Anderson to Fletcher. Fletcher swings it. Ferrati circles back. Looks to dish. And that outside shot taken by Fletcher goes high and wide. And then McDonough handles the rebound, and the Silvertips come back out. Game number 1 of the Larry Bishop. Be a 4-game round robin for each team, and the top 2 will play for the gold on Monday afternoon. Here bright and early, 1 o'clock start. As that shot gets stopped by Pilsner. And the Shamrocks come back the other way. A little bit of a tentative start here. In tight, and that little bit of a twister shot went up high. The Shamrocks going to have to try to chase this down, but it'll be over and back, and it'll be Silvertip ball. As the Silvertips are going to start in Shamrock territory deep in the corner. It's brought up by Shabek, who gets it up high. Ball is sitting on the half wall, comes out across the top, and that shot by Montgomery is fought off by Pilsner. And the Shamrocks come back into the zone. A little bit of a double in through the corner. Johnson is chased. Siege will collect up top. Fletcher gets it to the half wall. Shamrocks swing it. Siege inside Fletcher, and that quick stick got stopped by McDonough. And the Shamrocks get a reset. Auger tried to get that ball into a righty in the near or in the far corner, and the Silvertips are going to come away with a loose ball, but that gets thrown into the bench. And the Shamrocks will come back down into offensive territory here. 16:25 to go first period. Out in front, crease dive, and McDonough is going to grab that ball. Long lead pass, and the Silvertips have numbers. Fuster, and that's stopped by Pilsner. So a couple of saves in either end here. Both goaltenders getting settled in. As McLean comes down the right side with it. McLean, Siege, and he scores as he goes low far side on McDonough, and the Shamrocks draw first blood. That's your first goal of the 2024 Larry Bishop Memorial. And a quick release there by Siege. Caught McDonough before he could get down, get his glove down to the floor. Good low shot. Shamrocks take the 1-0 early lead. And off the draw, O'Dwyer to the net, tried to bounce one. And it'll be Silvertip ball. Here come the tips into the Shamrock zone. The ball goes loose. Battle for the loose ball. Couple of cross checks. And here come the Shamrocks. They had temporary numbers, but the Silvertips got out their back gate pretty quickly. Ball is over on the right side. In tight, and McDonough made a stop right on the doorstep. It looked like Auger with that opportunity. Ball swings. Shamrocks off the right side. Couple of cutters, and that's another one as McDonough was a little deep in his net. You could see the far side open, and Ingles puts the Shamrocks up by a pair. So important for the Shamrocks here playing in Airdrie, maybe to get the jump start, not let the Silvertips start to get momentum and feel like they were right in the game from the get-go. And the Shamrocks doing what veteran teams often do, getting up early and trying to take the wind out of the Silvertips sails. As the ball gets picked up. Now off the draw to the net, and stepping inside the crease were the Silvertips. Now back into the Rockyview zone. Out in front, and that's another one for the Shamrocks. They go up by a field goal here early. Dobbin this time goes underneath his defender right to the net. And capitalizes. It'll be a face-off infraction, and the Shamrocks will be awarded possession. Ball up high. Swings. And Siege tried to bounce one on the short side. McDonough shuts that one off as the Silvertips come back up floor. Fuster's knocked down just off to the side of the goal. And the Shamrocks not playing around here early. It's Whitmore. Threw that over top of the head of Miller, and here come the Silvertips back the other way. Clark tried to pop the ball back up high to Norris, but it's going to be picked up by the Shamrocks. Too many men infraction coming up against the Silvertips, and the Shamrocks will go 6-on-5. Ball with Siege. Siege back up high. Siege gets it back. He's met there by a couple of Silvertips. Actually looked like Dobbin. And so it'll be a Shamrock power play. 13:15 to go here, first period. Shamrocks up 3-0. And they'll go to the man advantage, looking to extend their lead. Game number 1 of Larry Bishop Memorial. 5 teams, a 4-game round robin. You play everybody once, and the top 2 teams will meet on Monday for a trip to the Founders Cup. As the ball is going to work around the perimeter here. Anderson. Inside, Fletcher gets tied up, unable to take a shot on net, and then he gets knocked down to the floor. That shot from Anderson got soaked by a Silvertip stick. Helmet, something attached to there, or some type of equipment, and it'll be Shamrock possession with about 20 seconds on the shot clock. Anderson. Ball down on the crease. Back up to Anderson. Miller, Anderson, tried to skip that. Down to that near crease. Back up, Anderson, drags it around the defender. Anderson, and that got soaked by a Silvertip stick. And the ball will bounce back over center, and the Silvertips will take possession with about a minute to kill. Ball is brought down deep into Shamrock territory. They do a good job of pinning that. Montgomery loses that, and it'll be Shamrock ball with about 38 seconds to go on the power play. Miller. Now Dobbin goes up top. Anderson will go to the shooter. Dobbin. Fletcher. Back. Fletcher and Anderson play catch. Anderson. Skip past Fletcher. Inside Miller, and great save there by McDonough. As Miller just sort of floated his way inside and got a great look. That's a big stop there by McDonough, as this lead cannot extend much further if you're the Silvertips. Now in transition, the ball's gonna go loose, and the Silvertips are gonna double on the loose ball, but it's Whitmore who grabs it. And here come the Shamrocks. Now it looks like there's gonna be an 8-second count, and it'll be Silvertip ball. Down on the right side, Norris, pick set. Nice behind the back flip, but Twite wasn't able to bring it in, and it'll be Shamrock ball. Ball left side, Ferrati. Underneath his man, Ferrati to the net, and he hit pipe. The Shamrocks already beating these Silvertips defenders underneath quite a bit here. Got a goal or two already, and Ferrati, nice look there, just hit the post. Back to 5-on-5. Inside, and that's a stop there by McDonough. Off the cut by Auger. Here come the Silvertips. So they're gonna need to start getting some offensive rhythm here. Haven't had many looks here. Tips inside, and that's a goal that was much needed for the home side. As Penner went back to the short side on Pilsner, doing a good job of running across the net, opening up his shooting angle. Now the ball at the feet of a few players here, and it's going to be picked up by Fletcher. Fletcher up top. And McLean didn't get that shot on net, but Fletcher picks up the loose ball. Bit of a two-man game over here on the left side. O'Dwyer and Dobbin. Dobbin tried to take a running shot across the top. Got disrupted by a Silvertips stick. Now the Silvertips are going to lose it, and the Shamrocks come back up floor. Dobbin shoots that off of a defender. And here come the Silvertips. Fuster in transition. Fuster, and that's stopped by Pilsner. Shamrocks, Gorst, little bit of a toe drag. Gets the ball up the floor to Johnson. Johnson's chased up near center. And he gets it over to the right side. Ball up over to Miller. Miller winds, fires, and that's sneaks through McDonough. Don't know how that went in. That hit him right in the logo. And must have trickled through his 5-hole afterward. That's definitely one he'll want to have back. So the Shamrocks restore their 3-goal lead here on what was a unquestionably weak one. Right after the Silvertips had narrowed the lead down to 2. And O'Dwyer's gonna pick the loose ball up off the draw. He hesitated for a second. And the Silvertips are gonna grab it. Couple of stiff cross checks there by the Shamrocks, and a delayed penalty is coming up to the Shamrocks. Shot comes in, and that just missed the far side as Norris tried to peg the low bottom corner, and now the Shamrocks will go to the box. There'll be a Silvertip power play. Be a 2-minute for cross-checking. And so the Silvertip power play will go to work. Norris up top. Schrader is going to set a little bit of a seal. And the ball goes into the corner. It's picked up by Shabak. Norris over to Schrader. Schrader, and that goes high. And that's going to be over and back, as that did not hit the net, and the ball went off the glass all the way back down the floor. 7:30 to go here, first period. Shamrocks leading 4-1. Want to thank you for joining us here on CROW LAX TV. Got the entire Larry Bishop Provincial Tournament for you tonight through Saturday and Sunday, and then the final to determine who is getting sent off to go to the Founders Cup in Hamilton in a couple of weeks. Fletcher gets it over to Dobbin. Dobbin and Miller over on the left side. And the Silvertips, with the advantage in numbers, fend that off. Don't allow anything on net, and they'll come back up floor with a minute to go in their power play. And that's a long early shot by Norris. Probably not what you want to be doing on a power play with 25 seconds on the shot clock. Let's see if the Silvertips can set something up here. Schrader up to Norris. Ball over on the left side now. Penner, and back to Norris, to Penner. Norris, and that shot hit a body. And that gets sent back up to Schrader, and from distance, bounces one into the far side. Not a great angle and from well out. Talked about the last one McDonough wanting to have. Now that was a better shot than that one was, but still one you want your goaltender to stop. So the Silvertips get a late power play goal there. And suddenly they're right back in it. O'Dwyer off the face-off, and Fletcher with his patented quick stick gets turned away. And they're saying over and back, but pretty sure that hit the goalie. Either way, it'll be Silvertip ball. Here is Norris. Right side, he's going to be met there with a cross check. He circles back and rolls down the side. Back door wide open, and that's stopped by Pilsner. Defensive breakdown there, leaving Nickel down on the crease there. Johnson in transition, and a crease dive. Stopped there by McDonough. So McLean had that opportunity. Big save there by the Silvertips, who definitely cannot afford to, let's say, trade goals right now after getting down early 3-0. Ball up high. Left side, Cullen. Now, ball with Twite. Twite inside, tried to take a low shot, got blocked. And now it'll be a shot clock violation. It'll be Shamrock ball. Ball had to be knocked down by the Shamrocks and Ferrati, but they collected and they'll set up. Ball up high. Seal and a shot around it. Miller misses the net. And here come the Silvertips. Up floor. Little bit of a dangerous suicide pass, but got there in time that allowed Clark to turn around. And now to the net with an opportunity was Schrader. They call him for a crease infraction. It'll be Shamrock ball. Here's Dobbin. The diminutive but dangerous left-hander is going to wait for his mates to get on the floor. Now, ball back over to Dobbin. Inside, Fletcher wide open, and it bounced in behind or around McDonough's feet, stayed out of the net. Now, up over center is Shabak, who has a really quick first step. Very evasive. Off the left side for the Silvertips, as the ball is over on the right side, now two-man game. Norris swings it into the stick of Cullen. Norris, long outside shot, goes wide. And a couple of players in behind the play, Whitmore and Dunbar Corenda were pushing and shoving behind the play. Nothing will come of that. And with 3 minutes to go, the Shamrocks will come back into enemy territory. Siege rolls off a check. Siege got it up top to Anderson, who in turn got it over to the right side, and Ingles. Ball with Auger. Auger spins across the top, took a shot off his back foot, goes wide. And now the Silvertips are going to draw the 30-second shot clock expiration, and they'll come away with it here. Fuster using his size, dealing with a couple of defenders. Schrader. And now, right in front in the on a transition opportunity was Montgomery, turned away by Pilsner, as the Silvertips came back the other way quickly. To the net, and that ball, as Highcamp sort of tried to shovel a shot towards the net, They call him for breaking the plane of the crease, and the Silvertips come back the other way. Norris shoots a little bit of a no-look underhand around his defender, used him as a screen. Pilsner with the stop, and right in front of the Silvertip bench. A long lob, wasn't brought in, but it went off a Silvertip, and it'll be Shamrock ball. Siege surveys, gets it down low, into the near corner. Pick is set. Dobbin loses it. Siege with the loose ball. Anderson swings that over. Siege with that shot, that stop. As the Silvertips come back up floor. Twite, no look pass into the middle, and that's stopped by Pilsner. As the Shamrocks transition out. Seaborn, cross crease pass, and that's stopped by McDonough. As the teams go back and forth, the pace picking up here as they try to get out and run in transition. Now out of the corner, looks like they might be calling a trip here, and they will be. The Shamrocks, so we'll go back to the box. Looks like O'Dwyer will serve the penalty, and the Silvertips with 55 seconds left in the opening frame get a man advantage. So Schrader back over on the right shooter, Norris up top. Penner over on the left shooter, Schrader shot. Twite and Schawbach on the crease. Schrader up high. Norris skipped it to Schawbach. Schrader cuts, and that's stopped by Pilsner. Loose ball. Seaborn running around in behind the net as Pilsner steps out and sets a pick, to the delight of the Shamrocks faithful. The Shamrocks come back down. And it looks like there will be a timeout here with 13 seconds to go. Even though the Shamrocks are down a man, I wonder if they'll take Pilsner out here and go 5-on-5. I doubt it, but it's possible. The fact that they're calling a timeout makes me think they will, and it looks like they are. Pilsner is fully inside the bench here, so they will go 5-on-5 with 13 seconds, 14 seconds now on the clock. As already here, the first game of the tournament, 5 o'clock on a Friday. This place is almost packed. So the Shamrocks will go 5-on-5 with Pilsner out here and holding a 4-2 lead. Dobbin will start it up here. He'll wait now with about 5 seconds left. They're gonna go. Gonna run out of time though here. As the period expires, the score after 1 period of play in the opener of the Larry Bishop Memorial, the Calgary Shamrocks 4, the Rockyview Silvertips 2. We will be right back in under 10 minutes. Want to thank you for joining us on the channel here right through tonight, tomorrow, Sunday, and into Monday's final. 4-2 after the first. Shamrocks lead. We'll see you in about 9.5 minutes. And welcome back inside Genesis Place in Airdrie, where it is the Calgary Shamrocks leading the Rockyview Silvertips by a score of 4-2. Shamrocks get out to an early 3-0 lead, and the Silvertips were able to get one back before the Shamrocks extended back to 3, and then the Silvertips got a power play marker late in the period, and that's where we sit right now as we head into period 2. And off the draw, ball is going to be battled for, and it's going to get won by the Shamrocks. Ball is going to be swung over to the left side. And it's brought up and back over to Auger. Auger to the net. Auger, and he stepped inside the crease. It'll be Silvertip ball. I want to remind you, get your 50-50 tickets. Be sure to get your CROW LAX TV 50-50 tickets. The Larry Bishop, or after the Larry Bishop tournament, the draw will take place on Tuesday, August 6th with a maximum take-home of up to $10,000. Scan the QR code on your screen now, or visit our social media channels at CROW LAX TV on Instagram and X. As the shot comes in, and the Silvertips will get the reset. Shot, stopped, and it'll be Shamrock ball. Must have hit must have hit the floor or something and went up into the ceiling. Otherwise, it would be Silvertip ball. As the Shamrocks go back to even strength. Anderson down the right side. He's got a man wide open in front, and McLean tried to reach around McDonough. Couldn't do so to put the ball home. As Nickel comes back down into the zone. City of Fort Saskatchewan, explore Fort Saskatchewan, discover a place where family fun meets opportunity. Visit their historic downtown parks in River Valley, work in a thriving community. Play where every moment is memorable. Visit, work, and play in Fort Saskatchewan. Ball goes loose, picked up by the Tips. Ball brought up high, shot, misses the net. That'll go back over center. It'll be Shamrock ball. Vimy Ridge Academy at Vimy Lacrosse. Excellence is the standard, led by some of the province's most decorated and experienced instructors. Vimy Lacrosse is the fusion of sport, academics, and personal growth. Unleash your potential with Vimy Lacrosse. Explore the academy by visiting vimyedmonton.ca/lacrosse. Ball up high, shot, stopped by McDonough. Fletcher with a loose ball. Saves it from going back over. Although it hit McDonough, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Ball over on the left side. Fletcher quickly down low. Auger hits a cutter. Miller did a nice job of pump faking. It tried to go to the short side, and McDonough got his right hip over just in time. And now the ball dribbles back down into the stick of Pilsner, and the Shamrocks will have a reset. And the Shamrocks are going to get their wish for too many men. So the delayed call will be coming up here as the Shamrocks go 6-on-5. Auger. Ball in, back up high to Auger. Auger swings it. As Dobbin shoots that into the midsection of McDonough. Loose ball to the Shamrocks. Nice little pass inside, and they're going to wave it off as Anderson dove the crease, put it low on the far side of McDonough. They're going to say that he was inside the cylinder before that ball went in, but the Shamrocks will go to the power play. Ball on the left side, insight to Fletcher, and the loose ball comes right back to him. Good stop there by McDonough. Once again, right on his doorstep. He's turned away Fletcher a few times in this game. To the left crease, back up. Skip pass into the middle, Fletcher, and that's stopped by McDonough. McDonough definitely has the Shamrocks leading scorer's number here. The guy that ripped up the South Division this year, and Zane Fletcher up top. Ball is in the stick of Anderson. Back up to Anderson. Anderson winds and fires, and that stopped. Then rebound, and McDonough stops that too. Out in front, BTB, and that bounces up over top of the net. And here come the Silvertips. Back down floor. Shabak, and he's going to bury it shorthanded. He was allowed to walk right down the middle of the floor, catch the ball, and deposit it back behind Pilsner. That's a big one for the Silvertips as they look to try and turn this momentum. Still 58 seconds left to kill. And that comes right after McDonough made a series of very good saves. And the Shamrocks will pick it up and have about 50 seconds to work with on the power play. Looking to get that shorthanded marker by Shabak back. This time, Dobbin will operate up off the top. Sub shot goes wide. And now, as a couple of Silvertips pin a Shamrock to the boards, they'll get the 30-second shot clock expiration. 15 minutes to go here, second period. Silvertips have narrowed the Shamrock lead, which was as many as 3 down to 1 here. Here is Penner with it on the left side. Silvertips looking to kill the remaining seconds of this. And they do just that as the Shamrocks come back down with the ball. Ingles to Miller. And the ball into the stick of Ferrati. Hard shot, stopped by McDonough. Good loose ball there by OJ, who's stood out here as one of the more dangerous Shamrocks so far. OJ down to Ferrati, into the middle. Ingles, and that shot at the stick of McDonough, and he traps it against the floor. So McDonough, after maybe a little bit of a rough start, has really answered back here, made those big stops on the power play, took away Fletcher a few times right on his crease, and allowed Shabak to come back down shorthanded and narrow this one back down to 1. And if the Silvertips come back, McDonough probably a big piece of that. As Pilsner, long floor pass down to McLean. McLean grabs the loose ball off the floor, and he's going to pull it back out. McLean is hit hard there by Schrader. And the ball goes loose and into the stick of McDonough. Outlet pass to Shabak, who comes up floor. You're seeing some of the Silvertips offensive guys playing D and transitioning up. Schrader and now Shabak. Ball goes into the corner. Twite looks. Twite shoots that off of a stick. It's going to be picked up, and it looks like maybe a delayed call of some kind coming up to the Silvertips. As the ball is brought up across the top by Gorst into the stick of Miller, now with Siege. Here's OJ, seal set. And Miller winds and fires, picks up his rebound, and he scores. It's 5-3. So Miller misses the net to the far side, but does a good job of tracking it down and rips it into the far side top corner. Go up a pair. And that'll take the delayed penalty off of the board and will remain 5-on-5. Ball is picked up by the Silvertips, and Twite walks over center with it. Twite down low in the far corner. Walking up with it was Norris. That shot gets stopped by Pilsner. Here come the Rocks. Quick step there by Ferrati. He brings it down low into the zone. Ferrati, two-man game with Miller. He had Miller wide open. Didn't give it to him, elected to shoot. And McDonough handles that. Here's Nickel as the Silvertips slow it up. City of Fort Saskatchewan, explore Fort Saskatchewan. Discover a place where family fun meets opportunity. Visit their downtown parks in River Valley. Visit, work, and play in Fort Saskatchewan. And Vimy Ridge Academy at Vimy Lacrosse, excellence is the standard. Vimy Lacrosse is the fusion of sport, academics, and personal growth. Unleash your potential with Vimy Lacrosse. Explore the academy by visiting vimyedmonton.ca/lacrosse. As Fuster comes back with it. 5-3 as we approach the midway point of the period in the game. Ball right side. Norris took a little bit of a running bounce shot, missed the net. Wasn't much on that. Shabak, a long shot from the rag line, trying to get the reset, but it's into the stick of the Shamrocks. They come back the other way. Here's Anderson, can really rip the ball from the outside. Siege to Miller. Fletcher, quick swing, and that's a shot up high by Dobbin. Turned away by McDonough. And the Silvertips getting pressed up high now. Ball gets thrown to Schrader. Up across the top. Now to the inside, and Pilsner with that stop as he took away a chance from Cullen. Ball up high with Ferrati, now into the stick of Auger. Ball on the weak side, now to the strong side as the third righty comes back over. Here's Dobbin, rolling around a check. A little quick stick look, that's stopped by McDonough. And here's a transition look for the Silvertips, if they could get out the gate early. But instead, Nickel goes right to the net, stopped by Pilsner on the far side. And the ball into the stick of Gorst. Now over on the far side, out of the corner. Fletcher, bounce shot into the stick of McDonough. And here's Fuster, who's come away in transition a few times, does a lot of the lugging up the floor for the Silvertips. Big guy. One hands it over to the right side, but that's a little bit of a rough pass. Hit the top of Norris's stick and goes up and out of play. And with that, we will have our media timeout of the second period with the score sitting at 5-3. I want to thank you for joining us here. CROW LAX TV here all tournament long, all provincial long, taking you through Monday's final as we look to crown a winner of the Alberta RMLL division and send them off to the Founders. That begins in Hamilton in a couple weeks' time. Also want to shout out the McDonald Cup. Head out and watch the Prince Albert Raiders, Lakeland Heat, Swift Current Wolverines, Calgary Wranglers, and the Southern Alberta Chaos battle to determine who will be crowned this year's McDonald Cup champion. Catch all the action starting August 7th in Brooks, or watch it live on YouTube for free. So the ball will start up high at center with Ferrati, who gets it to Siege. Siege to Auger. Auger to Ingles. And ball back up high now as it goes over to the left side. Some on ball, picks being set, ball over to Ingles. And that's stopped. Here come the Tips, who definitely have sort of stabilized themselves in this game after falling down 3-0 really early. You started to wonder, man, is this going to be a case where a veteran experienced Shamrock team starts to run away? But they've done a good job of reeling this back in. It looks like it might be a close one now the rest of the way as we get later in the second period. Good loose ball there by Shabak. Shabak in front, and Twite tried to cut in from the top and lost the ball through traffic. It'll be Shamrock ball. As the Shamrocks operate off the far side, Fletcher into the stick of Anderson, who swings it. Miller now back up. Fletcher, and that outside shot just missed, and that'll draw a 30-second violation, and it'll be Silvertip ball. 7 minutes to go, second period. Norris tried to roll across the top. He's chased back down, forced underneath. Norris, and that shot stopped by Pilsner. Loose ball interference, it'll be Shamrock ball. The Shamrocks bench pleads with their players to get off the floor quicker. Dobbin. Auger into the middle. Had to deal with two Silvertips making contact with him as he fell to the floor. Got a weak shot on net. And here come the Silvertips. Nickel, who's had a decent game in transition, had that picked off, and here goes Seaborn. Seaborn to the net, and McDonough steps over and takes the far side away. Here come the Silvertips, looking to push in transition. Now they'll stop up. Penner. Shabak. Shabak pulls the trigger. Stopped by Pilsner. And the ball goes into the corner, where a dangerous pass was pulled in by Gorst. Just getting by a diving Silvertip stick. McLean. Back over to Gorst. Gorst using his size to back in. BTB pass to Fletcher, who tried to bring it in and rip it to the far side, and he comes up ginger. Like his hip got contacted there on his way to the ground. Now Schrader walked through the crease to pull that in, and it'll be a Shamrock ball. Left side. Dobbin backs his man down. Second defender comes over. Good D there by the Silvertips. Dobbin back up and gets it into the stick of Anderson. Anderson rolls to the net. Peels back away. Out in front, and just as the shot clock expired, Auger with the chance. Don't know if they would have counted that, but McDonough made sure his team didn't have to worry about it. City of Fort Saskatchewan. Explore Fort Saskatchewan. Discover a place where family fun meets opportunity. Work in a thriving community. Play where every moment is memorable. Visit, work, and play in Fort Saskatchewan. Speaking of Fort Saskatchewan, the Rebels from Fort Saskatchewan will be in action tonight a little later on at 8 o'clock as they take on the Mountain View Mavericks in our second and final game here tonight on this Friday as we open up the 2024 Larry Bishop. Ball is going to go loose for a second. It's reeled back in by Dobbin. He's chased her in around the net. Dobbin feeds it to Anderson. Good slide there by the Silvertips. as they've started to play much better defense, locking in the middle of the floor and having that second defender come over to help when their on-ball defender gets sort of stepped around or loses position. Shaba swings it to Schrader, down into the corner. Twite into the middle of the floor. Twite, and that looked like it hit the butt end of Pilsner's stick. Big save there for the veteran Calgary netminder. Now a couple of players get tangled up behind the play, and they'll probably take both of them, and they will. In what's been pretty continuous in a fast-moving second period, not many stoppages of play. Not a great week for the voice to get sick. So bear with me if there's a couple of extra pauses here and there. So we'll play 4-on-4. Fletcher comes up high with it, and he gets it to Siege with the black socks and the black shoes, a look that isn't all that common anymore. As the ball gets picked up at center by the Silvertips. Next goal in this one feels massive. One of those breaking points I talk a lot about in games. Certain sort of thresholds that if one team is able to go on a bit of a run at a certain time, it really sort of suffocates or can really lean the game in one direction. And I feel like this next goal is massive. That 6-3 to 5-4 swing, and now right to the net, and a goal. There was nobody really reacted. And I mean, even Auger himself looked like the ball was trapped in McDonough's equipment and they were ready to just turn back the other way, but the ball finds its way into the back of the net, and that much important goal I was just talking about looks like it's gone the Shamrocks' way. So the Shamrocks answer the short-handed marker that was scored like 10 minutes of game time ago with a 4-on-4 goal, and they go back up 3. Now in front, and the underhand from the top of the crease. It's something you almost never see unless it's one of those fake high and drop your stick down and go 5-hole after the goalie's lifted his stick, but you rarely see that shot profile. But Miller gets it to go there, and the Shamrocks quickly go up with their largest lead of the game at 4. And the Shamrocks have had some success with that sub shot in this game. And remember, Siege opened up the scoring with that exact type of shot as well. Now, it wasn't on top of the crease. It was about mid-24, but it was low, and it was a quick release. As now the ball swings, but it's not brought in by Schrader. Schrader goes and collects it off the glass. Schrader had a man rolling wide open to the net. There was 2 seconds, probably not enough time. It would have been tight. Would have been dependent on whether that guy rolling knew how much time was on the shot clock. But he was wide open there off the pick and roll. Shamrocks looking to finish this period strong. It was 5-3 just about 2 minutes ago. Now to the net, and that is going to be waved off for crease violation. Miller looking to go back to back. It looked like it looked good to me, but obviously official Chris Hanley right on top of it. Does a good job. As an official, Chris Hanley, veteran guy. He used to play for the Mountaineers, as that shot beats Pilsner from way out. Maybe one that the Silvertips lucky to get, but one they needed. Just a little bit of a mic issue, sorry about that. As we come back into play, the Shamrocks did have a transition look there. Now the Silvertips with the ball. As that shot, again, Norris from well out hit the bar on the low far side of Pilsner. And now the Silvertips will call a timeout. They'll draw something up here and go 6-on-5. I want to thank you for joining us here on CROW LAX TV. The Larry Bishop Memorial, the Junior B Alberta Provincials is 5 teams: the Manitoba Blizzard, the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels, the old Mountain View Mavericks, and these two that you see right now on your screen, the Calgary Shamrocks and the Rockyview Silvertips, go to battle here, fighting for that one spot to go to the Founders Cup being held in Hamilton, Ontario, the Junior B National Championship. Of course, all you got to do is hit subscribe. You'll be notified every time a game goes live. So the Silvertips are going to start with the ball deep in their own end. That's where the timeout was called. And they will bring it up floor and wait till about that 7-8 second mark. And here they go right now. Ball into the near corner. Schaubach swings it behind the net. Norris out in front. He had Penner parked in front of the net. Couldn't bring it in though. A little bit of a hard, crisp pass. Got on him a little bit too quickly. And that'll do it for the second period of play. With the score, the Calgary Shamrocks 7, the Rockyview Silvertips 4. Want to thank you for being with us here. And we'll be back from Genesis Place in just under 10 minutes. And welcome back inside Genesis Place for third period action, where it is the Calgary Shamrocks leading the Rockyview Silvertips by a score of 7-4. Game number 1 of the Larry Bishop Memorial. Everybody starting off 0-0. Everybody will play 4 games, and the top 2 teams after the round robin will play in Monday's gold medal game, and the winner will go to the Founders Cup in Hamilton, the national championship. As Schrader rolls down the near wall, out in front, and that was a nice dish to Norris. Pilsner served it up cold though, as the ball comes up floor to, or with O'Dwyer. Very good face-off man, wins a very high percentage. I can't imagine, the RMLL doesn't keep this stat, but I can't imagine anybody is near his win percentage. Makes a big difference having those extra few possessions every game, because of course there's always a face-off after every goal. The ball comes back up over the top with Schabeck into the stick of Nickel. Schabeck rips that wide, as that will get brought up by the Shamrocks. Ferrati has Nickel marking him. Ferrati. Pick set there by Dobbin. Ferrati tried to roll back up and got stripped. Good turnover there caused by the Silvertips as they come back down the floor. Clark to the captain, Schrader. Schrader to a wide open Penner, and Penner tried a little bit of a twister, stopped on the short side by Pilsner. Now Seaborn. Shamrocks 2-on-1. Dobbin. Nice trail check there by the Silvertips, and then Gorst span back and fired that low on McDonough. Stopped by the Silvertip netminder. 17:47 to go, third period. Shamrocks up by 3. Dobbin rolls around a check. Out in front, and Siege threw that to the short side, stopped up high by McDonough. Ball comes back near center. Anderson. Bit of a dual threat. He can rip the ball from the outside, but he's also shifty and can work his way inside. Good feet does the right-hander. Good feet the right-hander does have his left side now. Dobbin gets stripped, and here come the Silvertips. Norris is going to take his man one-on-one, forced back out. Good D there by the Shamrocks. Norris rips that low on Pilsner. Pilsner, long floor pass, and it's picked off by Schabeck. Did a good job of not changing and looking back for the ball. Schabeck grabs that loose ball before it goes back over. These are the types of possessions that can make a difference. Those extended looks. A little bit of a moving pick there, and it'll be a Shamrock ball. Here come the Shamrocks in transition. Johnson up high to Anderson. Bad pass. No chance for Fletcher there. And that's going to be Silvertip ball. As Twait swings it over to the left side. 2 Shamrocks, they're able to cover 1 Silvertip as the Silvertips changed early there. As Montgomery ended up with that shot. And the Shamrocks come back down with the ball. Now wide open in front of the net, and the pass came a little bit late, so that looked like Ingles was a bit too far past the center of the net to get a great angle at that. McDonough with the save as the ball goes off the floor and way up over the glass. Out of play, it'll be Shamrock ball. 15 minutes to go, Shamrocks up by 3. I want to thank you for joining us here on the channel, CROW LAX TV. All you got to do is hit subscribe. You'll be notified every time a game goes live. Game number 1 of the Larry Bishop Memorial from Genesis Place. Mohamed Joma with you here as a long shot is rolled in on McDonough, and it evaded him somehow, maybe went 5-hole. It's 8-4. And that one feels like a little bit of a backbreaker if you're the Silvertips. You're now down under 15 minutes, and you're doubled up on the scoreboard. Felt like the next one was important, and especially more so the way that went in. Tough one. Let's see if the Silvertips can respond here as this game goes down the stretch. Here is Siege for the Shamrocks. He engages a defender. Now looks backdoor to Fletcher. Fletcher tried to work his way back out in front. Up to Ingles. Ingles long outside shot. That goes wide. And here come the Silvertips. Heavy hit there, and Twite is able to survive it. But now the ball turns over, and here goes Dobbin. Dobbin, breakaway. In, and a nice trail check there by a Silvertip off the bench. As the Shamrocks are going to grab this ball back, or maybe they won't. Unable to get it, and now the ball comes back out to them. And an undisciplined hit there in the corner by the Silvertips is going to draw a call. Anderson to Miller, who's got a couple late goals here, or a couple of the latest goals here. As he throws it over to Anderson. Out in front, Fletcher rebound, turned away. As Shamrocks will go to the power play. Vimy Ridge Academy at Vimy Lacrosse Excellence is the standard, led by some of the province's most decorated and experienced instructors, dedicated to molding well-rounded student athletes. Vimy Lacrosse is the fusion of sport, academics, and personal growth. Unleash your potential with Vimy Lacrosse. Explore the academy by visiting vimyedmonton.ca/lacrosse. So it'll be a Shamrock power play with Dobbin starting it up top. Seal set. Shot comes from Miller. Stop. And the ball back up high. Dobbin spent some time affiliating for the Raiders, who are up 2-0 in their Junior A best-of-7 final on the minors. Pretty big upset going on for the young Raiders. See if they can close it out. Game number 3 is tonight. As the ball goes into Miller. Stopped by McDonough. Silvertips simply cannot afford to let one pass them here on this power play. As Miller out in front, loose ball, picked up out of the crease by Siege. It'll be Silvertips ball. And about a minute to kill here for the Silvertips. Like I said, can't afford to give up one with this clock creeping under 12 minutes to go here. Already down by 4. Behind the back, stopped there by Pilsner. Ball handed from Johnson to Siege. Miller. Fletcher, or OJ. Much different look here to this power play for the Shamrocks. Miller. OJ. Back to Miller. Skips it. Into the middle. Tried to hit Ferrati. That was at his feet. And it'll be Silvertip ball. Now the Shamrocks team, they had a massive goal differential this year, as Penner with a little twister stopped by Pilsner. But this Shamrocks team, they had a massive goals for and against differential as they transition here. Fletcher, and again he's turned away by McDonough. Fletcher has had, I'd say, 6-7 gold standard opportunities in this game, and McDonough's done a really good job on him. I don't think he's potted one yet. As the Silvertips come back up over the floor, but it's lost. Gathered back in. Just to finish that point, though, the Shamrocks have a massive goals for and against, but a lot of that is due to those Rockies games. They're not a team generally that's going to absolutely blast teams, but they're just so sound, so consistent, and they win games comfortably, but not necessarily by large margins. And you're seeing that again here today. This one far from over, but they're usually in that 3 to 7 goal range in their wins. As the ball goes into the stick of Schrader. Shot stopped easily by Pilsner. And I found the Silvertips have really struggled to generate much offensively in terms of looks. Their goals coming from well out for the most part. As Miller on the rebound gets stopped by McDonough. Silvertips have that knocked down. And it's picked up by the Shamrocks. Dipping under 10 minutes to play now. Shamrocks with the 4-goal lead. This game slipped into a bit of a lull here as you got to imagine Calgary's just very comfortable with where they're at, and they're going to make the Silvertips have to at some point push here, try to get out and maybe in transition and run a bit to get back in this game. And I think you'll start to see the Shamrocks really use, even more so than they already are, the shot clock, getting off the floor early and not letting those fast breaks go back the other way as easily. Shot into the midsection of Pilsner. It rolled out the other side, and the Shamrocks survived that possession. Swim move there by Whitmore. And a delayed call coming up against the Silvertips. They are not happy with that call. I'm just looking over at their bench, and unfortunately the near ref had to take the brunt of that. He's not the one calling it. Miller has that. Ball goes in behind him, and the ball will be picked up by the Silvertips, and the Silvertips will go to the box. It'll be a media timeout. It'll be water for the goaltenders. We'll pause. I want to thank you for joining us here on the channel. CROW LAX TV, here with you all through the weekend. Saturday, tonight's game, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday's final, which will determine the RMLL champion and the Alberta rep at the Founders Cup. Taking place in a couple of weeks in Hamilton. You can also get involved in the 50-50 raffle. CROW LAX TV 50-50 tickets draw will take place following the Larry Bishop tournament on Tuesday, August 6th, with a maximum take-home of up to $10,000. Scan the QR code on your screen now or visit our social media channels, CROW LAX TV on Instagram and X. We look like we're just about ready to get underway once again here. Again, you see a Shamrock in the middle of the floor, and they force guys to have to choose between that crease guy and the guy standing almost right on top of the crease in front of the net. Do a nice job of doing that. So the ball gets picked up by Seaborn, who's had a strong game for the Shamrocks. 8 minutes to go now. Shamrocks set back up. Miller. Up top. Back to Dobbin. Dobbin, that shot into the stick of McDonough. Long floor pass. Silvertips looking maybe to push there, but they're gonna toss it back out high to Norris. Norris, long outside shot again. Stopped by Pilsner. .45 seconds remaining in the kill. Third period again, much slower pace than the first two. Miller plays catch up top and then into the middle. Fletcher again, stopped by McDonough. Ball turns over. And good check there by OJ to knock the ball free and get the Shamrocks maybe one last look here with the power play winding down. That shot soaked. That gets knocked down. And it's picked up by the Silvertips. Up floor, Schrader. To Twite. Twite tried to work his way around his defender. Ball goes loose. Then Shawbuck is thrown down, and looks like the Shamrocks are going to get nabbed for something here. Maybe a cross check. So now the Silvertips will get their turn with the man advantage. 6:20 to go. And they'll see if they can start their run, which has to start now if they want back in this game. Norris winds, fires, and he scores. Looked like that went 5-hole. It's 8-5. Ball's knocked back by the Silvertips, but it's picked up by the Shamrocks. Good loose ball there by Oliver Miller. And a crease dive out of nowhere was Siege flying through. Stopped by McDonough. Now it's picked off. And the Silvertips come back the other way. But the ball goes loose in the near corner, and the Shamrocks come back the other way. Check. Dobbin down the near boards. It's gonna hang on to it here. Bit of a seal set there on the left side. Long outside shot taken by Anderson. That hit a body. And here come the Silvertips. They got numbers. And they peel back out. .444 to go. Long outside jump shot. Sent in on Pilsner. Norris knocked that as he was stepping through the crease, so it'll be Shamrock ball. Dangerous pass, but Ferrati brings it in. Ferrati to the net, shot it up high on McDonough. He stopped that with his far shoulder, almost his chest, really, as the Shamrocks regather possession here. Probably in need of maybe one more to salt this thing away. Ball is brought up across the top. Fletcher in tight, and an awkward shot by OJ found the 5-hole of McDonough. Didn't have much room. His defender was pretty tight to him, and he just sort of pushed the ball at the net, and it dove between McDonough's feet and missed his stick somehow to make it 9-5. Another face-off win for O'Dwyer as the Shamrocks come back into the zone. Gorst, swim move. Wasn't aware he had a defender behind him. The defender could have definitely blown him up there. Decided to think better of it. And that shot went well wide. It'll be Silvertip ball on the 30-second shot clock violation. Not quite sure why the guy didn't swat his stick, but either way, it's Silvertip's ball now. Norris. Norris, long outside shot. Stopped by the glove on the far side by Pilsner. Ball goes loose. And good loose ball there by the Tips. Norris tried to shoot that low on Pilsner once again. That hit the floor, goes up off the glass and bounces back where it's picked up by Penner. Penner shoots that, stopped by Pilsner. Good loose ball sequence here by the Silvertips. Can they get one? Schrader. Norris once again stopped. And now the Shamrocks having some trouble getting it up over center. Ball's knocked down. That could have been a collision. But the 8-second count will take place, and it'll be Silvertip ball with just over 2 minutes to go here. To the net, and Norris changed the angle of release up a little bit there. Another, I would call it a twister. Tried to go short side, but it went more 5-hole, and Pilsner grabbed it in his stick. Now Miller backdoor. That pass was too late, and the defender did a good job of getting back into the lane. Ferrati is going to have to waste one there with very little time remaining on the shot clock. That shot soaked. And Gorst, the nice loose ball there as he controls it. And the Silvertips are going to get nabbed for what looked like, it turned my head. I imagine it was a slash. As that ball, oh, I'm getting told it was a punch. So it'll be a roughing call. It's going to be academic either way, though. There's 45 seconds remaining in this game. And one that the Shamrocks have led throughout. Fletcher took a look at the net, came back up high with it. Ball on the stick of Ferrati. That shot sails over top of the net. And that'll do it for the shot clock. So finally, the penalty will be called with 26 seconds left. The Shamrocks up 9-5. Will have the ball, and I'd imagine we'll just hold it for the remainder of this one. And that's what the Shamrocks are going to do. They're just going to hold this one and let the clock run out. And so that means that the Shamrocks will go to 1-0 to start this tournament. And the Silvertips will fall to 0-1. Shamrocks, maybe a bit of a case of been there, done that here. They came out, got the lead, and never let it go. Did a good job. Every time the Silvertips sort of crept back in a little bit, they were able to extend back out, and probably the turning point, if you will, or the point in the game where things looked like they were definitely going to go the Shamrocks' way was right after the Silvertips had made the score 5-3, cut it to 2, got the shorthanded goal. The Shamrocks with a couple of quick goals at the end of the second to extend their lead back out to 4, and just really suffocated the game from there on out. So the final score, game 1 of the Larry Bishop Memorial, the Calgary Shamrocks 9, the Rockyview Silvertips 5. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be right back with you in about an hour and 5-10 minutes for game number 2. It'll be the Rebels and the Mavericks. See you in just about an hour.